Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Old Town Winchester Day, so I am sitting at Worlds Away Escape. We're not in a room because then you'd never hear from me again because I'd never be able to figure out how to actually escape.
You'd be lost forever.
So thank you, Brady Cloven, for contacting Ariel, and thank you, Ariel, for finding us a conference room that is much safer to record this show in. But good call, because I had not been here.
Yeah, we'll get into like location and all that, but at the Bright Center building, I feel like there's a ton of stuff in here that nobody knows because it's on the mall, but it's also off the mall if you think about it. So I think this is exciting.
Once you walk in the door, you can't miss it. First of all, you're the first door on the left. Just don't go upstairs.
Yeah.
But it's not that complicated to find you guys
No,
here.
I try not to be, and we've got like a big sign in the window. We've got a sandwich sign that sits out, but people will still they'll walk past. Oh, we walked past it 3 times. I'm like, yeah, stage 1, I guess. First puzzle.
Do you secretly then wonder, oh, you're never going to find your way out of this room? If you can't even find your way in, how are you going to find your way
There
out?
are some questions that sometimes I'm like, wow, we're off to a good start. People usually recover.
I was going to say, it's almost like a pre-escape room just to get in here.
That's
People also
true.
joke about that because the bathrooms are locked, so people will be like, oh, this is the first escape.
More public bathrooms on the mall conversations.
Check. Mark that off your list. So we're sitting here with Ariel Pugh. She is the owner of Worlds Away Escape. So give me a little background. Were you one of those kids that always thought solving puzzles and that sort of thing were your jam? How did you end up here and running this business?
My parents' fault. Both of them, really. I grew up playing video games with my dad. Sometimes board games, but more video games with him, and always board games and maybe some video games with my mom. Always games, always puzzles. Some of my other family too, but mostly, yeah, both my parents come by it naturally. I had played all the escape rooms at the time I was still living in Leesburg, had played kind of everything there, and was just working my way out to every escape room I could play. When I'd played all the rooms here, I was helping them test their new room, and then they said that they were selling, and I happened to be on a leave from my corporate job at the time, and I went home and I talked to my then-fiancé and was like, so what do you think if I buy a business? And here we are.
Okay, the important part of that sentence is she said then fiance, now husband,
Yes.
we should add. So
Yeah, so
you
it
didn't,
worked.
he didn't escape and run screaming
he's
from the
trapped.
building.
No refunds is a constant comment in our house, yeah.
For someone who's never been to an escape room, what are they like? Explain how they work.
So it is a lot of getting yourself to think differently, having some fun, doing a distracting experience from life and work and anything else that's stressing you out. Solving puzzles, different kinds of puzzles. Some are observation, some are actual riddles, some are decoding. That's just all kinds of things along the way, each in a differently themed setting. So we've actually got 6 different themes. So people pick which one is the most intriguing for them at the time, and they solve their way through to get to their end goal based on whatever that story is.
Typically, it's groups of people because you want to bring coworkers or friends. I would imagine a lot of companies use it as a team building experience.
Yes, we absolutely love doing our team build groups. We have specific team build packages, and then we'll even have ones like smaller teams will come in just during the regular hours. We have them do that a lot. I really love that. It's a very interesting observational experience because you get to see if it's a friend group, a family group, they're kind of established in their dynamic. They know how they're going to interact. But if it's a coworker group, it's interesting to see who takes charge or who was right but wasn't quite confident enough to speak loud enough when people aren't listening to them. Every once in a while it's really fun when like they get to the point where they need help or ask for a hint, and I'm like, listen to that person.
Now, do you stay in the room with them?
No, we watch on the camera.
There used to be an escape room in Page County, and they did the show a couple of times. I went there and got to sit in that room where they're watching the people that are in the escape room trying to figure out how to get to the next thing, and it was the creepiest yet coolest thing I think I'd ever watched.
Yep.
It's got to be weird for you to not sit in that room and scream, no, the other one.
Well, the good part about being in the room with them is I can say that. They can't hear me.
That's true.
It's only when I turn on the walkie that I have to say it differently. But I can say whatever I want while there. I can be like, no, come on, you were so close. No, don't walk up. No, keep going. Oh, come on, you were right there. Don't give up.
Yeah, screaming, hot, cold, cold.
Yeah.
And are they timed? What's the premise?
Yes. Escape rooms in general can vary. All of ours right now and all of ours historically have always been 1 hour. So we've got it built that way that you have up to an hour. Some people can get out really quickly if they have more experience or they happen to hit that stride really well. But yeah, every single one of our experiences is up to an hour. I've seen ones as long as 2 hours. I've seen ones as short as 30 minutes. as like full functional escape rooms. I've also seen like pop-ups that were 10, 15. We did a pop-up that was 15 minutes at Ravenwood Fair my first year here, but they all wanted to just do one thing. They didn't want us to like do the whole thing. So we didn't do that again. We did little boxes the second year, which worked out a little better. Those were like a 5-minute box of 4 puzzles, just kind of like, this is what you do. This is how escape rooms jive.
Do you think that people come through, figure it out, and then go ask an entirely different group of friends to come back so they're the smart one in the room? Because that would be me.
Occasionally.
That's what I would do.
That would totally,
For
yeah.
sure.
Occasionally, I've also seen more frequently than just so much like the friend group, but I've seen the guy bring 3 different dates to the same
Oh,
room.
wow. You really get a good...
It's like a bartender. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he's, I'm like, well, I'm so good at that. Okay, bro.
Yeah. So I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, so what happens to the video?
Right.
Those all stay internal. We've made a lot of especially the software that we're using now is a newer one designed by Escape Rooms, and he's got a really active Discord. They're incredible. It's 2 people running the entire software.
Wow.
And they're on that Discord every day, like helping fix problems, immediately going in for bugs. It's insane. Like the giant companies with like thousands of people can't do it, but they can. But in that Discord, a lot of us, we've got business talks too, and just a whole bunch of owners that are all talking. It's a really great communal world. Like Escape Rooms, all of the owners are really together. Like we're all encouraging. We're mostly, it's a very supportive, not like competition. It's a collaborative world, and we've all joked about, we really need to get together, like gimmick reels of blooper reels of escape room moments, because those would be really fun.
So when you talk about having different themes, do you change those? Are they the same ones all the time?
So they stay for as long as they stay. I came in with a goal of changing 1 to 2 a year, and I did 2 the first year, but we also were growing at that point too and expanding, so they were trying to building new spaces. And in the year of the wedding, I was like, 1. We'll do 1, and we'll do 1, and if it's not done by August, my wedding was Friday, October 13th, I was like, then we're not doing it. We did get it done, but then I was like, I think 1 is good. I think doing 1 a year is perfectly fine. So we change out 1 per year. Usually we do it in like February, March, because the holidays are super busy, and we get tons of people in December. Then January still holds a bit. And then once it dappers off, we're like, okay, time to shut down, rebuild, and then reopen it after that. But yeah, so 1 a year, but that gives us a good solid 6 years on each room, so.
And that's just it, because most of your other escape rooms in and around our area are much smaller. So they almost have to change out their theme more often, because you run through people who've already been through and they're not going to come through a second time. So you've got a lot larger pool for people to be able to enjoy.
Yeah, we've got a lot more options. And it is interesting too, because of course, people in Herndon, they've got Herndon, Ashburn, Leesburg, they've got a ton of different places though, whereas out here I'm like, we're kind of the only ones, we've got to be able to have enough options for people to come back and have something else to do.
And do you do the build? Do you come up with the idea? How does all of that spring forward? All of the things.
Faith, hope, pixie dust sometimes. And I will, that's part of the great thing about, again, the community that's so fantastic, is if I'm at a point where I'm like, I have writer's block, nope. Like creativity, done. Like I burnt out on running and training and working and fixing. I'm like, okay, hey guys, help. I'm like, this is the story, this idea, this is what we've got. Anybody have any thoughts? And get bits and pieces that come in. And there were a couple rooms I had like fully consulted with one of the other owners in the UK. So it was one of those where like, yeah, like you're all the way over there. It's not like there's
yeah, I'm not going to hop a flight to go do an escape room.
If you want to use any of the puzzles that we come up with together, cool. Doesn't matter.
It's also an actual experience. So when you decide this is going to be the theme, you have to have furniture and you have to have wall decor. You have to have everything, so when somebody walks in that door, they feel like they're actually part of that theme.
We've actually been getting stuff for the new room that's going to be opening in February for the last couple of months.
So when we talk about when you open, it's by reservation only, right? Somebody can't be walking down the mall and just say, oh, look, there's an escape room, let's go in. You need to know they're coming.
Yeah, so we don't staff for walk-ins. Every once in a blue moon, if somebody happens to come in, so each person can run a couple rooms. So if we happen to have an opening or if we're in between, maybe, but definitely don't count on it. There's like a 0.000001% chance we'll ever take a walk-in, which is why it doesn't say never, but I'm like, no, please make reservation. And even then, it can't be last minute. You can't reserve like 30 minutes out. Like, it's got to be enough time. Because, yeah, anyway.
This is not ordering a pizza.
Right. Well, it's like, and I don't have somebody just sitting here waiting for that to come in. The staff has some time to actually get over here, set up the room, get it ready, prep for it. So, yeah, we usually are doing at least a couple hours in advance. Saturdays, there's a little bit more flexibility since mostly we're already here and it's busy. But always reservations. And sometimes I've had people ask about how far out can we book. I've had people try to reserve like 4 months out. And I'm like, okay, sure.
But I can see that if it's around a special event or it's some sort of birthday
holidays,
or something.
bachelorette parties.
That makes sense. And you have to, like, when a group comes through and they're done, it's not like you just stand there and let the next group come in. You've got to go back into that room. You've got to make sure everything is put back where it belongs. You don't want clues laying out for someone else to see. So there is some in-between time that needs to happen.
Yeah, that's why they're sort of parsed every 2 hours at the time slots are, so that we have time to reset, make sure everything's right. If something went wrong, we can fix it. All of those little things that do happen. My poor newest employee, it was his first day by himself entirely. Like last week I was still in the building. This was like, hey, I'm out, I'm gone. And his first group of the day broke something. And I'm like,
it was a man, I swear.
Of course.
Yeah, I think it was.
And it was a relatively easy repair, but it was still one of those where I was like, okay, all right, sure. Of course, I was also supposed to be celebrating my birthday, so I'm sitting there texting me like, okay, yeah, yep, this is how bad is it? What's going on?
Welcome to the life of owning your own business, where people think you can set your own hours.
Yeah, I think it's that, and people think you have all of the money, and I'm like, neither
of those are true.
Like, it's very much not that, but I still love it. It definitely has to be a labor of love.
Speaking of money, how does pricing work typically?
It is tiered. It is based on the number of players. So at each number of players, if you have more people in your group, it costs less per person.
Ah, that makes sense.
So 2 people, it's $45 per person, and it decreases all the way down to $27 per person for 8 or more. But there's a whole sliding scale in between.
I don't know that I like 8 people enough that I'd want to be locked in a room with them for an hour. But yeah, 2 or 3 people, I could easily swing that. And I'm okay paying a higher price to not have to spend an hour locked in a room with people I don't necessarily want to do that with.
Like sometimes it's a bigger friend group, but a lot of the bigger groups are like kids' birthday that one parent goes in with the group of kids, or a work team that's coming in. We also do a lot of the bigger team packages. The actual team build packages are based on either 2 rooms, 4 rooms, or all 6 rooms, depending on just how big the team is.
Oh, and that's nice, because then they can all have a different experience, but the same experience because it's still an escape room, and then talk about it after the fact.
Yeah, so they got to debrief and do everything. I think one of my favorite ones we actually did was really cool. It was a team of, I think it was somewhere between 12, it was definitely less than 16, because they did the 2 rooms. But they did the 2, and then they switched.
Oh.
And then did the rooms the other team had done to be able to debrief both. And I did joke with them because they were like, oh yeah, see, like then it's a real competition. I'm like, well, to be fair, everybody warmed up in the first room. So you're still...
It still comes back to a base at some point.
Yeah, especially when some of the group hadn't done any. It takes some getting used to. We always joke about our first room being a warm-up whenever we travel to do rooms as a family. But yeah, so it's really interesting, and it's fun to do that way. We've got a few of those coming up in the next few weeks, 4 and a 6.
How do people make reservations?
So those are all through the website. We do not take any reservations whatsoever over the phone. No payment information coming over the phone waves. Just put it all in yourself. There are times where it says to email or web chat, which means, and people sometimes misunderstood, it says email or web chat for availability, which does not mean it's available. It means we will reach out, see if we can get a staff in to do that slot.
Right.
It's a time we wouldn't standardly
It's a
have
hard
staff.
maybe.
Yeah. Yes. And people do sometimes misunderstand that. I'm like, okay, for availability. Like, we'll reach out, we'll find out if we can. If we can, then we email them the parent request and get it booked for them. But if there's no one to run the room, there's no one to run the room.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like I can only do so many things in so many hours of the day to just me. So if they can't come in, then it is what it is sometimes. Yeah, but yeah, most of the time they can just make them online themselves. The team builds, we do have a web form because obviously then we're booking multiple lobbies for them and we shut it down. That's the other thing about that. Those are private. You book a room, there may be another group in that lobby that's at a different room than you. All the rooms are private, but the lobby isn't. If it's the team build, it's the whole lobby. They get the whole thing to themselves.
Oh, that's nice.
That game master is only working with your group. They're only helping your team as opposed to your team and another team.
So where do they go? Give me the web address. Give me your socials.
It's just worldsawayscape.com. It is
easy.
It is that easy. Yep, it is that easy. We have a Facebook and Instagram. I know we need to probably do the TikTok thing. I don't like it. Can't stand it, honestly, personally, but it's a thing. I tried to make one, but I couldn't even figure out how to get it to make a proper business one.
Well, so here's the thing. I'll put my marketing hat on for a second. You don't necessarily need to have a TikTok if you can get the people that are using TikTok to use a hashtag.
That's fair.
And then you don't even have to do anything. You just pull all of everybody else's content into one place.
Yeah,
you can do that with TikTok where you can't with, say, Facebook or even Instagram to a certain degree. But they can find you on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook and Instagram. We've got those two. I try to get out there when there's stuff going on downtown and take a quick snippet of, hey, make a live story of hey, this is downtown, come check it out, and reserve something while you're down here.
Yeah, while you're here.
Yes. As long as they're not drinking first. That is a hard rule. They are not allowed to be drinking before they come in, or they will lose their reservation without a refund.
Good thing the bowling alleys don't have that rule. I would never bowl roll again.
Cosmic bowling night.
Let's take a break. When we come back, I know you got a list
Yep.
of all kinds of things that are going on. I also want to talk for a minute, too, in the next segment about how having something like this is such a great attraction for the downtown area. So can we do all that in the next segment?
Of course.
Okay, we're going to do all that when we come back. We are sitting at World's Away Escape on the Old Town Walking Mall in downtown Winchester. We're going to come back and talk more with Brady Cloven. He is Executive Director at Friends of Old Town. We're going to make Ariel stick around with us. She is the owner here at World's Away Escape. And we're going to do all of that in just a couple of minutes.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to justserve.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Old Town Winchester Day, so we are in Old Town Winchester on the Old Town Walking Mall, specifically. Brady Cloven sitting next to me. He's the Executive Director at Friends of Old Town. In the first segment, we talked with Ariel Pugh. She is the owner of World's Away Escape. We're sitting in their conference room upstairs because I have to be able to do another show in the future, and I can't be trapped in an escape room.
We don't know that we're not trapped yet, though. I haven't tried to open that door.
Stop! Don't do that to me. Although I do have to share a little joke. So Andrew, who owns the radio station, is incredibly claustrophobic.
Oh, no.
And we have tried for years to get him to do escape rooms with us. And he's like, no, I can't do it.
The doors are never actually locked, guys. Like, fire inspector would not allow. Like, the doors are never actually, you can always get out of any room.
But I want to design one that every clue leads back to something like Janet is awesome, or pay Janet more money, or...
You could just turn the radio station into an escape room and then make him come in, and then he's locked.
And then he's stuck. But how cool is it to have this on the Old Town Walking Mall and in all of Old Town?
I think it's great. We talk all the time about festivals that are happening outside or parades, and we all love them. But there's also a lot of times we have those off seasons when it gets colder or it's rainy and people go, what do? I can't be on the mall. There's a ton for you to do on the mall. You just have to look a little bit. And so Worlds Away is one of those places where it's like, cool, I can make a reservation. Like we learned that you can't just walk in. But when those cold months hit, you don't have to just stay home. Or you don't have to stay away from the mall. You can still come down. You can get some dinner. Don't drink beforehand. You can come here.
As we also learned in the first segment.
I also think we constantly talk about in the public art sphere, like how public art can come into a historical town and they can perfectly coexist, right? It's the same with something like an escape room. It doesn't all have to just be pretty buildings or these old antique shops. Like it's fun to have something very interactive on the mall. So I'm super stoked that this is here.
What was your thought in being here? Like when you bought the business, was it already located in this space?
Yeah.
Did you have any reservations or think about maybe I should move it somewhere else?
No, and some of that is it's a hard thing to move.
That's
even
true.
If we wanted to, everything's established, it's all built in here. But also there are certain parts of being in an old town building that the logistics are not as ideal as like a traditional escape room where they can have kind of one command center that runs all of the rooms, whereas we're split between all these different lobbies and floors because we're just in an older building and it's just the way it works. But even if we thought about moving to something else, I've said repeatedly I couldn't completely give up being down here. The number of people that found out about us or know that we're here because they've been downtown and walking by, and that just wouldn't be worth giving up.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of diversity on the mall in all aspects of the word, but it's nice to also see that diversity in industry represented. So it's not just restaurants downtown, or it's not just museums or municipal buildings. There is a ton of stuff here. As Justin Kearns hates when I say it, there's something here for everyone.
Yeah, Justin Kearns is still trying to wrap his head around the fact that his show that aired earlier this week, he actually took me to a farm market in Clearbrook that it turned out my second cousin owns. And I did not even know that until we rolled up in there.
Oh.
Because I have not been in touch with that side of the family in over 30 years.
Did you have a special guest?
It was the craziest, weirdest thing ever.
Oh,
so,
hey, small town.
So he knows, and that's a farm market that now has a corn maze.
Yes. Yeah,
So I don't know how he didn't say there's something here for everyone. I'm gonna make him say that during a show. I'll get him to say that for you.
Thank you. He put me through the ringer. Justin likes to do this thing where he really wants to help you showcase what Old Town is, and I am so appreciative for it. But we had a TV show come in from DC this past summer, and so Justin was like, hey, can you talk about the Old Town part of things? And I was like, sure, I'd be more than happy to. Talk about coming here for an overnight trip and what gets you to stay all weekends. And he was like, do not say that there is something here for everyone. And I was like, why would I say that? I never say that. He was like...
And then you can't not say
right,
it.
but he kept saying it. And I was like, so sure enough, they get there, and she was like, what would you say to somebody coming to Winchester from DC? And I was like, I just think that there's something that someone will find that they really enjoy, and I kept trying to word it differently, and he's just staring at me behind the camera. But I do think that there is something here for everybody. Somebody can come to Winchester and find something fun to do. I don't think that they would leave without being able to do that.
Oh, I 100% agree. And I think that's true for someone who's visiting the area that's never been here, and those of us that were born and raised here, that things don't look like they did when I was in high school or when I was in even elementary school. That adds to the coolness of being able to come somewhere and see something different, but not.
Yeah. Even like that History of Us tour that we're doing, it's you can look at a building and say, oh, wow, this was here 30, 40 years ago, but it was an ice cream shop, and now it's Murphy Beverage. This was where the elephants came through on the mall, and now there used to be a fountain there. I don't know.
The Discovery Museum used to be Schul Furniture Company, and you had to take that freight elevator to get upstairs if you wanted to buy a mattress. There's a nice little piece of history for your next QR code.
And we'll get you on that committee, too.
And you're adding art. I mean, there's a lot going on down here.
Yeah, there is. And event-wise, September was pretty light on the Friends of Old Town front. There was a lot of stuff that was happening between Fiddles and Fifths, which was really successful this year. I liked the layout they went with. Celebracion just happened, and that was a really great day.
I was down here for Shen Arts Fest.
Shen Arts Fest was great. I think we've been pretty lucky to get some good weather on all of these weekends, too. And then the 3rd of October is the final first Friday of the season. Isn't that crazy?
It seems so like it just started.
I know.
What's your theme for October?
We have the Flea Bops coming. Have you ever heard the Flea Bops? They're like a rockabilly band. Local.
It's going to make for some really funny, conflictedly dressed people out there, because it's also emo karaoke next door, where I'll be.
Yep.
So you're going to have all the emo karaoke people.
I talked to Nick. I'm hoping we're getting a little bit of overlap in the best of both worlds.
Oh.
So the Flea Bops also are known to do a Halloween set. So I'm trying to see if they'll maybe sprinkle that through on an early Halloween set.
Okay.
Get some fall vibes going in, launch us into Harvest Festival season, Oktoberfests that are popping up here, there, and everywhere, corn mazes. And then we'll have the usual sip and stroll Doras available from 5 to 10. There's going to be some art pop-ups, some vendors, and I think just really kick off the holiday season this way.
I love it. Are you still doing the Hallow
Winchester?
Winchester? Yes.
The trick-or-treating thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so October 25th, Saturday, before Halloween. I almost said Thanksgiving. But we're going to have from 2 to 4 that day is going to be the merchant trick-or-treat. So you can bring your kids down, get them dressed up in their costumes, and they'll get free candy up and down the mall. We're also going to have a pumpkin painting station there because I've talked to Jill Savory at the Typewriter Studio, and we all agreed that we should not be giving kids knives on the mall.
I agree 100%.
So we might do some paint or markers, but that'll probably be set up partially at the Taylor Pavilion, and then trying to get people to go to different areas of the mall, do almost like a scavenger hunt tour.
Oh, that's
type
cool.
thing. And then that night, starting at 6, we're going to have a Hallow Winchester booze and brews crawl. Each brewery is going to have their own theme inside. The overall theme on the mall is going to be like alien invasion from outer space. And then Broken Window is really helping lead the charge on this. So we talked to Zach last month, but it's all going to cap off at Broken Window because they will have a stage outside on Boscawen. There'll be a band there. There will be a costume competition there with the grand prize of $250 for the winner. Yeah, that should be really fun. And then the next weekend after that is Halloween.
Is there anything else going on in October? Do you have time to do anything else in October?
No. Most of October is going to be me getting ready for Independent Weekend, Plaid Friday, Small Business Saturday, and then Winter Village that we will, I'm sure, talk about on this show. But yeah, October is personally my favorite month. It's when everything starts starts changing. Everything gets the oranges.
Yes.
So you and I really have a great time out there.
The weather is just so much more somewhat predictable.
Yep.
You know it's going to be cool. It's not usually going to be cold, but it's certainly also not going to be 90 and muggy.
And walking on the mall with a hot coffee is a lot nicer in October when the mornings might be mid-60s
Right.
opposed to when it's 90 degrees out in July and August. But I will take the mall anytime.
We were down on the Old Town Mall for Day of Caring. It was very nice to see in the middle of the day how many people were walking around. People were going to lunch. People were shopping. They had bags. It was really busy on that Friday down here, and I thought this is what people need to know, is that you can come down here in the middle of the day and it's a fantastic place to spend some time.
Oh, yeah. Starting at 10, 11 o'clock, those patios fill out, and it is really great to come down at even a 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon before people even really get off work traditionally, and just seeing patios full or seeing people coming in and out of stores. Our weekends, I would say the past month and a half, have just been really great downtown, so hoping to keep that going through the holidays.
Been crazy out there.
And where are we on the mural? We talked about it briefly. She's going to be here
November 1st.
So in November is when that's going to get started.
So everything's good on our end. Contracts are signed. She is super excited. She's going to stay here in Winchester. I think we're going to also try to organize maybe her meeting our public arts subcommittee while she's here.
Oh, good.
Maybe doing kind of some walking tours with her. But yeah, she'll be down November 1st, and she gave us 15 days to finish the project. She doesn't think she'll need that long, but you know how things go in case there's bad weather some days. And this is with the John and Janice Wyatt Foundation, the campaign for grade level reading. I think it's going to be a really impactful mural. It's also one of those that it's going to be able to hopefully kickstart some revitalization of that south end of the mall. And this could be an anchor for that. And I'm really excited that we were able to pull this together with a bunch of different partners, residents, people who work here, people who visit here. So yeah, super excited.
And you have an idea, because she did a rendering of what it's going to look like, but you didn't release that out. It's a surprise for the rest of us, right?
It is. I think we'll release it.
Because I like that. I think that's cool.
I think we'll release it as we get a little closer. We had a committee that ranked the 47 applicants we got.
I still cannot get over that you had 47 people.
It's crazy,
That
right?
is insane.
And these people are made up of people who work at MSB or Shen Arts or TINSAV, a lot of the arts organizations around us. But not even just that, people who live here and can understand and appreciate the historical relevancy of Old Town, but also want to see how that's going to move through the next generation. You see the rendering and you want to release it. But I also think I want to
For the record, I have not seen the rendering.
I'll show you after this.
If I'm not mistaken, United Way manages the campaign for grade level reading. I'm the grand poobah of the United Way board.
That is true.
I should be able to see this thing before
If you
anybody else.
can get out of this escape room, then you can see it.
I'm totally screwed. So where can people go to stay up to date on all the things that are happening downtown?
Yeah, so we have our website, friendsofoldtown.org, and that has all the updates for this. It has our master plan on there, so if you want to know why we started doing more murals downtown, that master plan will show you that we got the community surveys from over 1,000 residents talking about what they want us to prioritize, and this was one of them. Taylor Pavilion is moving along. It's one of those stages of the program where like nothing's needed at this point in time, so you feel like you're not doing anything, but things are happening. With the state who gave us the grant, everything's signed on their end and on our end. We've talked with the city and the engineering departments, and things moving along just fine.
It's all the behind the scenes stuff that take forever, and people think, oh, they're not going to do anything, and then all of a sudden one day it's, whoa, where did all that stuff come from? Because that's how it works.
One day people will be upset that nothing's happening, and then the next day they're upset that there are cranes on the mall or cement trucks. But you know what? It's going to happen. It's going to get done. It's going to be a great performance space. And then if you want to follow along on social media, that's where you get most of our updates in real time. That's going to be Friends of Old Town on Facebook. And then on Instagram, it's Friends of Old Town Wink, WINC. No TikTok yet either. I might have to take your idea, though, and get some hashtags going. And then, yeah, come on out. I know October also has, I forgot to mention it, but homecoming weekend for Shenandoah University. That is also going to be the same weekend as Hallow Winchester.
So there's a lot.
There is, yeah.
So they need to come to an escape room and chill out.
They do. Yeah, they need to come here, have some fun, then go out and participate in the Booze and Brews.
Crawl. WorldsAwayEscape.com.
Yes.
All right. Thank you both for taking the time today.
Thank you.
I will be back on Monday with a brand new episode of The Valley today, a few minutes after noon. Have a great weekend and meet me here then.